Hey, Lysandra Everett back again in my next video on habit transformation. Today's topic is planning for failure. So I'm getting a glare on my glasses here. Okay, so planning for failure. All right, so we're talking about changing a habit, right? We are talking about replacing a bad habit with a good habit. So in that transformation, we're going to screw up, right? We're human. We all make mistakes. We all fall back on those bad habits. But the best way to succeed with that is to actually plan for those failures. So let me share what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's just say, for instance, that you are trying to eat better. You have decided that you are going to cut some things out of your diet, whether it's sugar, whether you want to eat less candy, drink less soda, whatever that is, however you want to change your diet, okay? So then you plan for failure. How do you do that? Well, if you know that Coke is your thing and you know that you need to cut that out of your diet, how do you plan for failure? Well, one, you don't buy the Coke, okay? And two, you know in the settings where you feel like you need to have them, whether it's sitting with friends, if you go to a restaurant or something like that, right? So if you studied it by now, you know that there's the cue, and you know that the reward is that Coke, whether it's the caffeine or the great taste or whatever that is, right? Okay, so what you have to decide and what you have to examine for yourself is where you're most likely to screw up. For instance, if you have a Coke uh, in the morning, okay, to give you that extra boost. All right, well, you need to find something to replace that, okay, because again, first, we're not going to buy it, all right? But secondly, if it is in your present, what are you going to do? Then we've got to make some decisions, right? We've got to find something that's going to give you that same reward without the calories and sugar in a Coke, right? So we've got to find that replacement, and then we've got to make some decisions. Now, what happens when you get it wrong? What happens when you say, I've got to have that Coke right now, right? You just really, and you're like, okay, I'm having this Coke, and you drink the Coke. Does that mean that you have failed? No. Do not use that as an excuse to not do better. All right? Because just because you have one Coke doesn't mean that you have failed completely. So we're talking about planning for failure. You know where your pitfalls are. It's like driving in traffic, right? You're going from point A to point B. You know where the clogged intersections are. You know where you're going to get stuck. You know where there's likely to be accidents. So if you're in a hurry, you're gonna plan to avoid those pitfalls, right? Habit transformation is the same thing. We've got the new year coming up where everybody is going to be making all of these New Year's resolutions, okay? First of all, I want you to not make resolutions, okay? Make a habit change and change one habit at a time, all right? But secondly, when you're changing that habit, understand that you are going to fail at some point, okay? It might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be until 3 months from now, but it will happen. And it happens to us all. We are all human. But the most successful people plan for the pitfalls. All right. So you know what habit you are trying to change. You know your cue. You know your behavior. You know your reward. And if you don't know these things, go back and watch the other videos in this series. But once you decide the habit that you want to change, then plan for the pitfall. Plan for the failure. Because if you take the time to anticipate the failure, then you'll also take the time to come up with a solution to avoid that failure altogether. Okay? So I really hope this helps you out. I hope you're enjoying this series. If you are, please like and subscribe. I'd love to have you in my community, and of course, share it with someone, and if it helps you, hey, leave a comment. I'd like to know how. All right, this is Lysandra Everett signing off, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.